the theme this month of Love Your Numbers, I'm going to talk about a couple concepts that are a little bit complex, and that's why I'm doing a video on that, because I think it's going to lend itself a little better to this than in the written form. So again, going back to the Clio trends study for 2019, they looked at 3 concepts that I think are really, really important when we're tracking our data and tracking our numbers. And they are the concept of utilization rate, realization rate, and collection rate. So utilization rate is probably the one that's the hardest for me to wrap my head around, but it's probably the most important. So what they're saying is the number of billable hours worked divided by the number of hours in the day. And what they found was that the utilization rate for the average attorney was only 31%. And I also have a little bit of a funnel that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And so the second concept is the realization rate. So this is our number of billable hours invoiced divided by the number of hours worked. And so what they're saying here is that 81% of the hours that you all are working are getting invoiced. So there's a gap there of hours that are billable and being worked that are not showing up on the invoice. And then finally, the collection rate. I think we all understand this pretty easily. That's the rate that we're collecting those actual fees that are showing up on the bills. So the number of hours collected by the number of hours invoiced. And their study is showing that 86% collection rate was for the average firm. But what's super powerful is when you apply numbers to this. And so I would like you all to take a look at this and try this for yourself. So calculate your utilization rate. Remember, this is number of billable hours worked divided by number of hours in the day. Your realization rate, which is the number of billable hours invoiced divided by the hours worked, and then your collection rate, which is a pretty easy one. So they found that on average, the average attorney hourly rate's around $253 an hour. And looking at an 8-hour day, you can expect to bring in about $2,000 a day in revenue. But as with most things, there's always more to the story, right? When you look at that, apply that utilization rate, which is that the average lawyer only spends 31% of their day doing billable time, that is going to reduce your potential earnings down to $627 a day. Then when we apply the 81% utilization rate, the earnings shrink down to $500 a day. And then finally, when we look at that 85% collection rate, we're at $430 a day. So there is a loss in theory of about more than $1,500 a day because of productivity and billing and collection process issues. So take a look at this for your own firm and think about what the impact, and if you're above that $253 a day, you're going to have a lot higher impact, but think about the impact of $1,500 a day in revenue. That is significant in my eyes. So I hope this helps, really helping to know your numbers so you can love your numbers in your firm. Bye-bye.